And now we've got Eduardo Neves taking on Michael Parkin, and this is such a weird fight. You know, Eduardo Neves 5-0 as a professional, Michael Parkin 5-0 as a professional. But Michael Parkin's got a lot of amateur experience as well. With what's that? Is that 8 fights as an amateur, 7-0-1 as an amateur, and he did draw with this guy who has actually started to make a name for himself in the professional ranks. He's 2-0 at the moment, but I'm picking Eduardo Neves, and I actually think that Eduardo Neves is gonna get it done pretty early. He's a brawler, is what Neves does, and he likes to draw his fighters into a brawl, which can end up getting him caught. But it hasn't hasn't not worked for him recently. You know, he's got a lot of first round finishes. I believe he's on a first round finish streak. He's on a 3 fight first round finish streak, all in about a minute. So this fight potentially could be over within a blink of an eye. Michael Parkin, on the other hand, he just hasn't fought good competition like at all, and it's just so questionable about how good he's gonna be when he shows up. Like, he made his pro debut against a guy that was 1-10. You know, that's all right to get started, and then 2-17, and then 2-3, and then 7-7, and then 6-9. Like, he just hasn't, he's never tested himself, and that's not really what I like to see. Out of Eduardo Neves, at least when he made his debut, he fought a guy that was experienced with a losing record, as you do, built himself up a little bit, took on a guy that was 2-0 when he was 2-0, then a guy that was 1-0, and then in LFA, took on Andre Vieira, knocked him out in the first round, he was 5-0, and I believe even in that fight, Neves was a very slight favourite in that one. I was going to say an underdog, but I was going to lie to you guys. I apologize. He was a slight underdog in that one, but that's not really the point. I just think Eduardo Neves, the level of competition that this guy has been fighting, is just a lot better, and even then, he's beating them a lot easier than what Michael Parkin is beating his opponents, and he's just beating guys with losing records. Even as an amateur, he was fighting guys with losing records, but he was fighting okay guys. But like, it's just I don't know what to think of Michael Parkin. I don't know what his skill set's going to look like. He's potentially the better wrestler out of the two, but I think that Eduardo Neves is just more savage. You know, I think he's gonna come out. I think he's gonna brawl, and I think he's just gonna find a KO on Parkin. It's just hard to get a read. It really is, and it's my full honesty with you guys. He's fought in LFA twice. He definitely is easy as tape to find. You can watch that fight, and he looks great. He's a fast starter. He's got heavy hands. He likes to brawl, and I think that Parkin might get drawn into a brawl with Neves, and Neves is going to end up knocking him out in the first round, and that's actually just my breakdown. It really is. But I think that, yeah, Neves is a very competent striker. I think he's the better striker out of Michael Parkin and Neves. Maybe the better wrestler out of the two is Michael Parkin, but it's hard to tell what's actually going on. And yeah, Michael Parkin does have good ground and pound as well, but he's gonna have to get the fight to that point, and I don't think he is. I think Neves is just gonna brawl with him and knock him out in the first round. As I said, like, just so hard to get a good read on this guy. I mean, all guys have 5 KOs. This fight's not going the distance, for sure. But that's my breakdown. I know it's a terrible breakdown on the where. If you really want to know, Eduardo Neves, I think, just lands with power. Michael Parkin is somewhat heavy, easy to be hit. He doesn't really have great defense. I think this Neves is just going to knock him out, and I just don't really know what more to say. I just wasted 3.5 minutes of you guys' time. I'm really sorry. I'm picking Neves KO in the first round. Michael Parkin's got a lot of experience, but it's experience against guys that just aren't high level. I don't trust that. I'm trusting Eduardo Neves to win by KO on this one. He's going to get a contract for sure. And yeah, I think he's definitely going to get a contract. UFC needs heavyweights, and I think Neves is going to be a good addition to the roster.